Now, the federal government has scrapped its controversial electric vehicles mandate. The Trudeau-era policy required all sales of new vehicles to be electric by 2035. In its place, a new set of incentives for purchasing EVs will be implemented. Andrew Batiuk is the president of the Electric Vehicle Association of Alberta. Let's start with the news. What do you make of the federal government scrapping this mandate?
It is a little bit unfortunate. However, it comes with some good news that the incentives are back. So we got to give a little bit to take a little bit.
What do you understand to be the drivers that had the government change course?
I think there is just political pressure for various coming from all sorts of directions these days. This scrapping the mandate, but the emissions reductions that they're bringing in its place give auto manufacturers some flexibility in how they meet what the government's looking for environmental improvement.
Yeah, so the switcheroo is that incentives of up to $5,000 for those looking to buy a new electric vehicle or hybrid have returned. What do you expect to be the impact of that? How will that make a difference for EV sales?
Oh, it's almost certainly going to increase them. We saw a significant drop when the incentives were removed last time. We expect a similar increase now that they are back.
So do you think, on the face of it, is that achieving the intended outcome then from your perspective?
Certainly. People love, anytime there is money on the table, people love to take advantage of it. And folks were holding off when they knew that incentives were there, they're gone. Will they come back? Well, yesterday they got their answer.
Yeah. So what's the significance of this for the secondary market, like for the resale market, used EVs and hybrids?
Anytime someone's getting a new vehicle, they are parting with their old. So, there are people that are going to be replacing their ICE vehicle with an EV, but there's also people that are going to be upgrading to a new EV, and their old EV can now go on the used market, giving people that are either have the principles of wanting to let other people lose depreciation on their vehicles, so they'll buy the used EV, or those that simply are in the financial position where a used vehicle makes sense to them, they now will have more options.
Right. Overall, looking at new and the used market, and you keep track of this, how have sales looked overall for the industry, including how are they doing right now?
For EVs, they're certainly decreasing. Canada and globally, there was a hit there for about a year where we were seeing sales start to stagnate a bit or decrease. Again, so we expect with these incentives, they're just going to start increasing again, which would be fantastic.
This comes, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks after Prime Minister Mark Carney struck this partnership with China, around some tariffs and counter tariffs. And this allows sales of Chinese, import and sales of Chinese electric vehicles here. How does that fit into all of this?
In a strange way, it doesn't, because the Chinese vehicles currently are not included in what you can get the incentive on.
Is that right?
There's a restriction that there has to be a free trade agreement in place for the incentive to apply, and that doesn't apply in China or China-made vehicles.
Okay. So, what is your reaction to the introduction of those up to 49,000 Chinese EVs into the Canadian market?
There's a lot of excitement about that. There are lower price vehicles sold there, and it's just a different type of vehicle sold there. People like variety, they like options, and in some cases, what Chinese manufacturers are doing may be exactly up someone's alley for the features they're looking for in a vehicle.
Looking ahead, what else are you hoping the federal government might do to get more people into EVs and to support, EV infrastructure and sales?
Well, they've also promised more money for charging, which is always fantastic to see. Specifically, we would like to see money and perhaps regulation around building out charging for condos and apartment complexes, people that can't just easily plug in at home. When you can plug in at home, EVs are far cheaper, far more convenient. But if that's not the case, then it's a barrier to entry that some people aren't willing to look at. So getting ways to have charging at condo complexes and such is very important to us.
Yeah. If somebody has an EV and can't plug in at home in their parking spot or whatever it might be, what's the workaround? What does that look like?
Typically, they're either going to be going to a local fast charger, and they'll spend 20 to 30 minutes charging up. Or they may charge at their destinations, whether it's at work or while they shop, while they go to the movies, go to the gym. All sorts of places like that now have slower chargers. But if you're there for a few hours doing something, your car's getting fueled up while you're busy, attending to life.
How long does it take on a slow charge for an EV to get to from, pretty close to drain to full?
Yeah, it can be several hours, 8 to 12 and more, depending on the size of your battery, how big your car is, and how low it is.